Hey guys, recently I discovered a product which I actually don't know how I haven't discovered it until recently, and I suspect as a result many other people haven't found it, is the Arkbird mini tracker, which, let me pop this up over here. Can you guys see that? So this is a little 5.8 gigahertz GPS tracker, all in a neatly self-contained unit. Now, I've done a little bit of flying with this, and I'm quite impressed. It works very well. You know, I've always been into trackers. I designed and built an RSSI tracker years ago. I've had a Skylark tracker. I've actually got the big Arkbird tracker. And then somewhere along the line, I found this, and this is a neatly self-contained little unit. Everything's in it. It works quite well. In fact, better than well. I think what I like the most with it, let me pull it back up here, it is so compact. You know, this thing, if I take it off the tripod, if I can work it out, there we go. You know, look at the size of this thing. There's absolutely nothing to it. Now, you'll notice I've done a couple of things on here. The actual tracker, if you go look at it on AliExpress, and I'll put a link in the description below, there's a couple of things that are just missing on it, which, well, I've solved them with a bit of 3D printing, and I think, you know, it's a pity that Arkbird don't do these out the box. And you know what, if they were to take my designs and use them, I really don't care, because I actually think they'd have a better product for it. So what I've done, I've made this little 3D printed box, which I could pop the whole thing out if I really wanted to. It comes out of here, but I'm not going to do it because I don't feel like unplugging some cables. But essentially this just clips onto a little GoPro adapter at the back, gives a little tray for a local GPS, which more about that later, and it kind of holds it neatly so I can pop it on top of a tripod, which you can see a tiny little tripod, boop, on they go. I've also done another little mod to it, and I don't know if you can see over here, there's a little red ring on here. Now, one of the things I didn't like about the tracker is that this would rock ever so slightly. Now, it's through no fault of anything other than the fact it's sitting on top of a tiny 9-gram servo, and you get a little bit of rock on the horn. So all I've done is I've designed a little 3D printed ring. I popped the horn off, glued that on, and it's rock solid now. You know, it still rotates perfectly, but rock solid. So I'm happy with that. You know, a couple of other things with my little design. You know, the output for this, you can see there's a servo lead over here, and this is a simple 12-volt in, ground, and a video feed out. So what I've done is I've 3D printed the case and wired it through to a couple of jacks so I can plug in a video link in here, and in fact the whole thing will actually power off a Fat Shark goggle. They do say that you need 12 volts, but I found it to work absolutely fine under 2 volts, so let's assume 12 volts is max. And I put in a disclaimer because I haven't tested it that extensively, but I'm very happy with it. Now, as I said, I'd be very happy if Arkbird were to take these designs I've done for the case, made tripod mountable. I don't know why they didn't do it in the first place. Something they can think about. And then we get into obviously the airborne side. In case if you guys don't know about a GPS tracker, you end up needing a little module like so. And what actually happens is, in the case of Arkbird and this tracker, it's actually just plugged directly in line between your flight controller and your VTX. And essentially it's injecting a signal into the VTX sort of video signal that you receive. So it comes down the video signal into the tracker, and the tracker then knows where you are. But obviously it can't do that if it doesn't know where the model is. So you've got another port up here which plugs into a GPS module. It's all kind of straightforward, nothing too intensive, and for anyone who's already flying long range, you know what? You probably already have a GPS on the plane, so it's wiring one pin to this thing. Does the job, and the thing follows you around. It's great. So yeah, that's all I can really tell you on it. There's been other videos by the likes of Painless 360 who tell you how to do the channels and, you know, set various things on it. Nothing particularly complicated. But it's nice. And I think, you know, certainly for guys who are flying things like wings, you know, a tracker opens up the possibility of doing things, you know, I've seen many years back someone on 25 milliwatt managing to do 1.5 kilometers with one of these sort of antennas on top. So it really does open up the ability with a wing to fly 100% legally and get a bit of distance on the RF side. So that's a good thing. It's nice. It's, you know, for me it's something, if ever I go fly my wings, great. I do wish, you know, and this is just a thought on the by that I kind of feel would be quite nice, and maybe if Arkbird are looking at this, they can jump in and actually do something about it. It seems to me these days you've got things like I have. Now, you've already got an OSD chip, you're already doing stuff with the video signal. So is there any way you can send just a little bit more information in the video signal to send the GPS coordinates you already have, so that I didn't need one of these on the plane? Now that would be fantastic. You know, maybe it's not possible, I don't know, but it would be fantastic if it was. So it'd be nice to get a line from Arkbird on that, see what they have to say. Anyway guys, that's all for now. Really just a quick touch base on what I've been working on and messing about with. I will pop a few links to the various designs I've done and through to the product page, so you can find out a little bit more and do your own research. And maybe we can give the guys at Arkbird a little bit of a thumbs up and a push, because this product is actually pretty good and I think just completely and utterly underrated. So cheers guys.